Howdy folks, welcome back to the show. I'm Trailblazer Tim. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the best practices when it comes to staying warm in cold weather conditions. Now, I can already hear it in the comments below. Tim, what do you know about cold weather? You live in Florida. Plenty. I was born and raised in upstate New York, outside of Buffalo, along the shores of Lake Erie. I know plenty about being cold. Now, lots of you guys already are experiencing cold weather conditions wherever you're watching this from. And if you haven't yet, it's soon on its way. I know folks out there like me that are an avid outdoorsman, enjoy going out and about and hiking and doing stuff like that, are starting to find themselves limited in the amount of time that they can actually go out and enjoy their activities, especially when Mother Winter grips down with a cold and that's like, that's it. I'm gonna wait until the thaw in the springtime. Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you some of my best practices of faring in those cold weather conditions and how to get through those cold months. I plan on doing some traveling this next upcoming year, which is gonna include some colder weather climates. So I decided to start looking around and finding myself what kind of gear is gonna work for me for those days down the road. I drove around and stopped into a lot of my local little favorite spots like Bass Pro Shops and Academy Sports, and even Walmart and a few other places. But it seems anything that's out there, especially when it comes to first and foremost a good jacket, they're wanting way too much money. So I decided to stop into my local Tractor Supply and bingo, I hit the jackpot. Now you're sitting in here going through your checklist of the most important things you need when it comes to outfitting yourself for cold weather clothing. The most important thing is to remember your extremities, your fingers, your nose, your ears, and your toes. We're not gonna take any time to waste on our feet and gear and stuff so much today. That'll be for another video. Let me show you what I do to go about keeping absolutely perfectly warm in any condition. Those of you who live in cold weather areas have probably mastered all that. But a lot of us live down here in the south that don't see a lot of the cold weather, or maybe we're planning on going on a hunting trip up north and stuff. A lot of people just like throw something on. But if you're planning on spending any time out in the cold, there's some very serious questions that you need to ask yourself and equations that you need to have answers for before you take a step out the door. First thing you need to do is find out what type of weather you are looking at being in, such as how cold it's going to be. What kind of a terrain are you going to be hiking in? Or is it going to be uphill climbing? Are you going to have to cross over fallen trees or streams and stuff like that? These are going to factor in the ultimate when it comes to the comfort of how long you can last out there in the cold. You always want to make sure that you are equipped with some waterproof boots that have insulation inside them. Now, these particular boots are not cold weather boots, but this is all I have to work with right now. Make sure that you wear some sort of a wool sock or whatever is going to be comfortable, and whatever type of pants that you're wearing, make sure that they're equipped where they can tuck in to keep all that cold air from getting in. Depending on what type of pants you're wearing and stuff, always make sure all your layers that are on the top are tucked in properly. We don't want to lose any of that heat out that we're trying to keep in. Now, my personal preference in cold weather is to wear a pair of jeans. This is just me, because jeans don't usually tend to make you sweat. Other people will say, well, put your sweatpants on and then whatever, but that's not how I roll. I make sure that I have something on the interior core that's not going to allow me to sweat, especially when I'm hiking. If you're in extreme cold weather, you can always buy some waterproof pants that's insulated and pull them up over top of them until you go somewhere, make a shelter, and then you can take layers off. Well, like you heard me say, I decided to go over to my local Tractor Supply to go look for some sort of jacket that was going to work for me, and this is what I came up with. Introducing the Blue Mountain Duck Quilted Men's Hooded Winter Jacket. That's right, Blue Mountain, not Carhartt. On the same rack that this beautiful jacket was on was all the other Carhartts. And there's a lot of die-hard people out there that love their Carhartts. And there's good reason for that. They've been around for a long time and they make good quality products. But have you been out recently and checked the prices on their jackets? Yeah. This nice little jacket is set up and equipped almost as well as a Carhartt jacket is. Comes with the 2 oversized outside pockets as well as ribbed cuffing. and bottom elastic, which helps keep the cold weather from getting in. Let's dig in a little deeper. It has a nice quality zipper on it. Opens up. Like I said, this is duck quilted inside. Now, let's talk about the hood for a second. Now, everybody has their own opinion and preferences when it comes to jackets and what they feel good and what's comfortable to them. And I heard a lot of folks say that they don't really particularly care to have a hood on their winter jackets, and for your reason, then I respect that. But I enjoy that added extra piece of protection. The only thing I would have done different with this Blue Mountain duck quilted men's winter jacket from Tractor Supply is if they would have made it so you had the option to detach the hood. On the inside of this nice jacket comes with the option of 2 separate pockets that are held together with Velcro. On the larger of the 2 pockets will fit any standard size smartphone, or like me, as you see me going out into the woods and stuff, put a little pack of little 5-cent cigars in there. And we got ourselves a little storage area that keeps things high and dry. Let's try this nice jacket on. Ooh, this is nice and comfy. And it looks good too in that buckskin color and all. Yeah, let's see how the zipper works. This is a very, very comfortable jacket. No problems whatsoever. Zips up right up to my neck. See that? And it has drawstrings for the hood. Speaking of the hood, let's check that out. All right, we're gonna take the old hat off and see how we feel with the hood and the drawstrings. Oh yeah, see that? That's nice. That's what keeps all that cold air from coming in and getting those extremities cold. Now that's a great jacket that we just reviewed there, made by Blue Mountain, the duck quilted long sleeve hooded men's winter jacket, picked up at Tractor Supply. Now in the same rack, as I said earlier, were exactly the same kind of jackets made by Carhartt, and even the ones without the hood were twice the amount of money. Now I will not argue with you. Carhartt does make a little bit better quality of a product, and the ones I saw felt as though they were a little bit thicker, a little more insulated, but I'm going to show you how you can make up for that for half the money. That jacket cost 50 bucks. The Carhartts were twice as much. Now remember, we were talking about forecasting our environment in which we're going to be in, the hiking and all that stuff, your terrain, and then factor in wind chill on top of that. So the way you just saw me set up with just the jacket and stuff, that's not going to cut it when it comes down to the 20s and the teens and down to 0 degrees and stuff like that. But keep this in mind, the more you bundle up, the more the terrain is tough and you've got to climb hills or cross streams and stuff, the more your body's going to begin to sweat. And now you're going in the wrong direction because that sweat's going to turn into ice and you're going to become more cold than you were in the first place. Here's a solution. So I decided I'm going to demonstrate to you what I would do if it came to the extreme cold, such as the cold white north, where areas can reach down into the zeros and high winds and whipping rain and sleet and snow and all that other good stuff. This is how I would go about bundling up for that kind of situation. Now I don't have everything for the complete demonstration, but if it was me, I would start off with a nice base layer such as maybe a fleece long sleeve shirt. At that point, I would take and layer myself up to possibly a cotton or a wool hoodie such as this. Let's go ahead and demonstrate this. This is a nice little hoodie I picked up from Bass Pro Shops, made by Ascend. It's made out of cotton and wool. See how nice that is? Nice color, great feel, nice and warm. It's got the hood to it and the drawstrings, all that stuff. This is a base layer before we build everything on top of that. At this point, you can put more layers on, but remember, you're working with terrain and climate and possible wind chill and stuff. So if it's not going to be really whipping and stuff like that, this may be all you need underneath that jacket I showed you. Remember, the more you put on, if it's not as cold as what you forecasted, you're going to end up sweating and that's going to turn to ice and you're going to freeze your butt off. My next layer of protection, I've got a neck gaiter that is made by Copperfit. See this? This is a nice little flexible neck gaiter. I'm going to put this on. Very flexible, very breathable. Now at this point, I'm I'm protecting my neck, and I can slide that thing all the way down. And we have something to protect all the way up to our eyes. See that? At this time, we can take our little hoodie and either button it up, or we can zip it up as high as it will go. This way, that neck gaiter being down inside of there, got no way of cold air whipping its way down through and getting our main parts of our body and our sternum and our torso and stuff cold. Now to protect our head. All right, about our head and keeping it warm. I found that a simple bandana over top of your head is a great base layer before you start adding the rest of the stuff into place. And this is going to help because it's going to allow that sweat to have something to soak into. Onto the next layer. At this point, we put on a nice beanie right over top of all that good stuff. See that? Ooh, I'm already starting to sweat and everything. Wow. Now let me show you the last final touches of putting this all together in extreme cold weather. Now if you're out there hiking or you're finding yourself in some high winds and it's whipping and wind-driven snow and ice and stuff, you need to protect your eyes. Now a regular pair of sunglasses ain't gonna do it because most of them, whether they're plastic or metal, they're gonna end up getting cold. I have these goggles. You've seen me wearing a couple videos. I'm gonna set them down right here just in case I need to use it at that point. Let's put the last bit together. Now we're set and ready to go. I'm gonna put my hoodie over top of what we have already. Man, I am sweating. Remember, I'm inside of a clubhouse and here in Central Florida. Now for a nice new jacket, our duck quilt jacket. Woohoo! Toasty, baby, toasty. And this is how I finished everything off. Next we have, remember, our neck gaiter. See that? And all I have left that's exposed to the cold are my eyes. Come on, cold weather. Woo, it is toasty up in here. Let's finish this all off with a nice pair of insulated gloves. I can't even see it. My glasses are all steamed up. Whew, look at that. I'm gonna have to take this clothes off real soon here because I'm inside the clubhouse out here and it's about 72 degrees in here, but I feel like I could be out in the 20s and the teens and stuff like that. And remember, all the stuff I bought locally, not online, from either Bass Pro Shops, Tractor Supply, Academy, all that other good stuff. And none of it outside of my bottom wear was over $150. Now, let's take a moment and digress. All the stuff that you saw me layer and put on and get myself set up with outside of my pants and my boots, I bought locally for around $150. Let's go back to the price on those Carhartt jackets. Them alone are gonna be at least $150. Why would I wanna go spend all that money on one article when I could buy all those layers that you saw me wearing for around the same price as one jacket? So you're gonna have to see what works for you. You could add more layers, different ideas. This was just best practices that I wanted to share with you what would work for me. Like I said, this next coming year, I plan on doing some traveling, and that includes some cold weather regions and everything. So I'm trying to get myself set up and educated best I can. Like I said, I haven't always lived here in the hot state of Florida. I grew up outside of Buffalo where the lake effect, chill, snowstorms and stuff for years. So I know that extreme cold weather. However, my blood has thinned out some. But making those decisions is very important, especially if you're out hiking and you find yourselves in extreme cold situations and you're going out to make a shelter or camp. At that time, you can make yourself a little fire, get out of the wind, and start taking some of those layers off, especially if you're wearing something that may have made you sweat. Now you can take it off and hang it up and dry it over a fire and not get hyperthermia. Well, hey, that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching the video. Hope you guys learned something. Feel free to comment down below and give me some pointers and hints that's helped you along the years of keeping warm in those cold weather regions and stuff like that. Got any comments or questions, leave them down below. And until next time, I'll see you on the next adventure. Take care.